Several years ago, we were in partnership with the NCAA. They were asking schools to sign on to their diversity initiative, believing in inclusive hiring practices and really changing the face of leadership. But I don't know that there's been any really teeth behind that. And the NCAA can only do so much, but I do think it's also this education and awareness campaign. I'm surprised, AJ, how many presidents actually don't know how bad the landscape is for ADs across the country. They actually think, well, maybe there's only a few in our conference or one in our conference, but they don't think it's that bad nationwide. When we bring it up to them, sometimes they're actually surprised. So this awareness that really actually across the entire nation, it's really bad and we've all got to do better. I think that awareness piece is really important. I will tell you though, at all levels, the numbers of women of color that have been hired in the leadership chairs literally has doubled in the last year and a half. So that is actually doing better. And if you look at the Power 5 level right now, which is it's great. We've got Nina, Desiree, Carla Williams, and Candace Lee at Vanderbilt. So 4 out of the 6 are women of color. So there actually has been huge progress in that area. We still obviously need to do more. But I think the awareness is there is getting there actually on both fronts.
So awareness, certainly there's the funnel of candidates. I think you hinted at that. They say someone who sat in that chair. Do you have a solution for, and I think this is what you do, right? But what can or should we be doing to make sure there are more deputy ADs that, have overseen football, right? Who have checked all those boxes that they're ready to sit in that seat?
Well, it's interesting. Years ago, when we were trying to kind of get at the root of this issue, and this was in my first couple of years, I actually did interview all the search firms and asked them, why aren't there more women? What do they look for? What do they see in the search process? They were great. They gave me very candid and honest feedback about what they're hearing from hirers. I still talk to all of them regularly. I'll get feedback after searches, and we heard several things. One was industry trends and hiring practices. And actually, we work with Arizona State University and Glenn Wong and his group. And every year now, we actually report out on the hiring trends in all divisions, and we get that information out to women. So knowledge is power. And we always say, look, we're not saying this is right or wrong, but this is what people are hiring for. Obviously, traditionally, back in the old days, it was the 4 F's: facilities, fundraising, football, and finance. Now, I think it's definitely more fundraising and football. So those 2 F's have risen to the top. I think a new one's going to be NIL and understanding some of these changes going on. So we got that information out. So we actually went back and changed our programming. And we have a lot of programming around how women can get involved in fundraising, how they can step into these roles, overseeing not only football, but highly revenue generating sports, men's basketball, and some areas of the country, it might be ice hockey, whatever that might be. And so understanding the research is important and starting at the younger levels. And so you mentioned pipeline earlier. We've really doubled down on that, focusing and getting women into our programs earlier so they can understand these trajectories you can go on. And I always say, I don't think there's ever any just one path to leadership. But I do think there are certain paths that can possibly make it quicker. So for instance, if you're going into compliance, that doesn't mean you can never be an athletic director, but I think it's going to take a little bit longer. I think that research, understanding hiring trends, and now, there's a whole nother level of just being a strategic, agile leader. A lot of things have changed over the last several years. So we try to focus on general leadership competencies as well. And then the other reality that we've heard is you have to be a great leader to lead, but also in this industry, you actually have to be a really good interviewee and you have to go win the job through the interview process. And so that's a whole nother level of kind of training that we've done a little bit of work on as well.